Hey everybody, this is Butt Sanchez, the only YouTuber that made you realize you never had a better time on YouTube. Until now. And today we're going to do a Let's Play of Super Metroid. This is a 100% playthrough of the game. I guess Super Metroid is already what I said, but it's probably one of my favorite games on the Super Nintendo. Probably one of my favorite games of all time, to be honest. Metroid 3 as it was known back then, because this was the third Metroid game. Chronologically, it takes place right after Metroid 2 Return of Samus for the Game Boy. Which I think chronologically goes Metroid 1, followed by the Prime series, then Metroid 2, then I believe Super Metroid, and then, you know, all that good stuff there. So let's just jump right into it. Like I said, this is a 100% playthrough. I'm just going to change the default settings. It's for some reason X is the fire button, which we don't need. I'm going to turn on the moonwalk just to show off a glitch. And I guess like that, we're just going to start right into the game.
The Last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
I believe Dan Osen, who is the primary translator of the game, did the voice that you just heard right there. If I'm wrong, I'll put a subtitle in or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it's Dan Osen. Anyway, that's probably the best song in the game, in my opinion. You only get to hear it at the beginning and at the very end of the game. It's very fitting. I hope you read that fast enough. So this is just a recap of the events of the Metroid series. This is actually Metroid 1 right here you're seeing, just the Super Nintendo graphics. Samus destroying Mother Brain in Torian. If you notice, she shot 4 missiles. I'll get back to that way at the end of this series. Probably gonna only be about 5 or 6 episodes long. Like I said, I'm going to show off some glitches, but there's a reason why I'm mentioning that the missiles were put in there. Because there's an unskippable cutscene. And for some reason, how the missiles are programmed, that cutscene was programmed, the game gives Samus the missiles temporarily. She shoots 4, and then takes the missiles away just to set the game up for Samus when you start a brand new game. So how do I know that? Well, you'll find out near the end of the series, and I'm not just saying that just like to get you to kind of like pay attention or watch or, you know, keep tuned for this. It's just something I'll point out much later. It's unfortunate I have to do it much later, but that's just how it is sometimes. Anyway, this is just like the cutscene describing just like all the findings of the Metroid and all that stuff, as you can clearly see. It's unskippable, but however, if you do get to the Ceres station, the game does save right there. It just doesn't really tell you that or telegraph it in any way, so if I restart the game, I'll probably just demonstrate that in case you didn't know that, because the reason I know this is because I've seen speedrunners, when they have to reset, they don't want to sit through this like 3-minute cutscene here. It's under attack, alright. They don't want to sit through the cutscene every single time, so they just do a copy, like a file copy. I don't know why games did that back then. I guess specifically for this, so you can skip cutscenes when you're in the game 20 years after the game came out, but I don't really know, I guess. This is a space colony, Ceres. It's called Space Colony for some reason, but whatever. So I'm just gonna reset the game for a second, just to demonstrate that it did save or autosave right there. So we'll just kind of get into here. Awesome. 0-0 time. Start. And that doesn't even show up the map screen there, so that's kind of slick, I guess. So that's awesome. And like I said, it just autosaves. It just doesn't tell you in any way. So it's 100% playthrough of this game. I'm playing on an Xbox controller, so it's a little awkward to kind of play because the Super Nintendo controller feels a lot better than the Xbox one, but it is what it is. I probably should invest in a Super Nintendo controller adapter that, you know, I can play. Some dead bodies here. It's kind of foreshadowed at the beginning of the game on the title screen. Do that. And like that, we found the Last Metroid, which is in captivity if you weren't paying attention to the... God, wall jumping's gonna be awful on the Xbox controller. Yeah, it's gonna be really bad. That's okay, I guess. You can actually defeat Ridley here. I was about to say Metroid, but if you kill Ridley, Ridley will actually drop the Metroid and then pick it up and then fly away. I'm not going to really bother with that just because it's not really all that necessary. I guess I'll just try. Doesn't hurt to try, doesn't it? Just kind of watch it. I think the tail does like a whopping like 30 damage or something, so you got to be really careful of that tail. Ridley, you fight Ridley again near the end of the game. He's the last boss to fight before Mother Brain. He's by far the hardest boss in the game, in my opinion. As you can see, he's almost dead here with the red hue on him, or her. I don't really know what gender Ridley is, but I'll probably finish him off here. I'll just say he. Doesn't really matter that much. Should be almost dead around now. So to keep dodging his fireball attack and all that. Wish I had more to say, but there you go. See, I killed him. So he kind of picks him up with his claws, his like feet, I should say, and then flies away. And then you get kind of pushed back a little bit. So the emergency. This first video is going to be relatively short because I think I'm going to stop it right when I get to the elevator to Brinstar. Just how it goes, I guess. So there it is. If you're really good, you can get out of the space colony of Ceres station, and I think 47 seconds remaining. I will definitely not be getting that. I'll be lucky if I get 40 seconds or whatever. So we'll just kind of keep going here. I'm already at 49. Maybe it's 43. I don't remember what the records are, but 47 seems a little extreme. Maybe that's what TASs get, but I'm not a TASser. You don't get hurt by the steam, by the way. It just kind of knocks you about. Oh, for God's sakes. There we go. Like that, we're out of here. I'm going to switch this before I forget to Crateria on my side panel. So I hope you like this. It at least shows what region of the map that I'm in, including kind of the animals. I'll call them animals because they're not really aliens. Because Samus is the alien here. I'm going around slaughtering of all the aliens. It's whatever. So all the kind of animals that you see on Crateria. And that was the opening to probably one of the best games ever made, Super Metroid. But we're not done yet. I'm not ending it right there. We're going to just probably end it, like I said, right before Brinstar, so we'll just kind of go over here. I'm going to show off something called arm pumping here. So, when you're running by holding R... Come on, Samus. My controller, come out. What the heck? Okay, I guess I had to focus the freaking window, so a little blooper there. Notice how I can just kind of like walk up and down the hill here, but if I kind of arm pump, did you see that? Like Samus kind of like kind of fell off, if you want to call it that, of that little hill. That's because of arm pumping, because every time you do this arm pump, it actually moves Samus ahead 1 pixel. I don't know how people figure that out, because it's kind of subtle, but maybe they just realize, how come you can just kind of fall when you do that? So, just how it goes, I guess. And we're going to show off a glitch that was kind of found out rather recently. It was discovered 24 years, if my math is right, after the game was released. Let's drop a save state here. So normally what you do is you fall down here and you count the things. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I want you to pay attention to is Samus's vertical descent velocity. Let me do that again. So it's a little hard to see, so I'm just going to do it from here. You want to hold the L or R button, initiate the moonwalk, which is holding the Y button, kind of do this, and then jump. Notice how fast her fall is. That's because the moonwalk, or the moonfall is what it's called, that glitch. It does not have a cap on your vertical velocity. So people figured that out 24 years later, and it's only used a couple of times in the run. I will only be showing it right there. It's just FYI. One thing I want to point out here is this is actually the remains of Mother Brain from the opening cinematic and from Metroid 1, if you didn't know that. This is actually where she was housed. These are the, I think the Zebetites or whatever they're called. And so I guess this is the old, I think it's Turian or Mother Brain base. I don't know what it was called in the original. Probably Turian still. So, kind of a cool little thing, huh? Here's another little glitch here. So, normally when you run, I think Samus kind of, yeah, like, well, pay attention to my controller input. She has like a little bit of momentum, takes a couple of steps. But if you press L or R while she's kind of like in her like, you know, slow down phase or whatever, she stops immediately. This is called stop on a dime, which allows you to just go down elevators really quick. Because you don't have to, if you're waiting for her momentum to kind of drag her forward a little bit, it makes it kind of awkward to go down the elevator. But if you do stop on a dime, you don't have to worry about that at all. Cool, huh? God, wall jumping is really awkward in this game. So this is the morphing ball. This is also from the original Metroid as well. This is the opening area in Metroid. Right there, that I think that little sensor just kind of like mentions that there's an enemy nearby, basically, and then reactivates the Turian defenses above. So just the more you know, I guess. That's how it goes, I guess. So we'll go down here and get our missiles immediately. Too bad you couldn't get the missiles that quick in the original game, but I just remember my brother telling me when he was playing this game, like, he just thought it was so cool that, like, because you never understand where that elevator goes or leads in the original game. You just kind of appear at that elevator. But if you ever wondered, this game, I guess, clears it out for you, or clears that up for you. So, it actually leads to the old Torian base. So you could have just started right at Mother Brain's place at the original game. Right there, but that would be too easy now, wouldn't it? Plus, you don't have any missiles. I think it takes exactly 30 missiles to kill Mother Brain in that game. Easier said than done, because those stupid Rinkas, which are like little, like, orbiting, like, rings that she shoots at you, just seem to always give Samus the business. Plus, the auto turrets just shoot in kind of predetermined directions to try to... Nah, I didn't really do it there, but yeah, I already showed off the trick anyway. It doesn't really matter that much, so... Whatever, but... Anyway, that sensor that we saw was actually what activates the old Torian base here. So now we're going to have a bunch of space pirates attacking. I kind of like that music that was playing. It was just really ominous music. So now you have this kind of like, I wouldn't say high anxiety inducing music, but this kind of like alert music or whatever. Doesn't really matter that much. The guys are really easy. Nintendo Power actually hinted that there's a door right over here. And hinted, what's this door lead to? You'll have to find out later. And I'll show you that later. Try not to have a lot of like cliffhangers or whatever. Like I would like normally like wall jump up here, but the freaking controller here is, I guess it's okay. It's just really hard for me to keep it kind of consistently like doing that. The space jumping, I'm not really great at that, but it's something you need to, if you're going to play this game, you're going to have to get used to if you want to sequence break. I will do some sequence breaking, but I'm not going to do a lot of heavy sequence breaking. Just the way it is. I'm not like too great at this game, but I can get 100% in about an hour and 40 minutes or so in game time, so that's always fun. So just how it goes. I'm gonna ignore these doors. No, that pink door just leads to a map room, which we will definitely not need. So also, I don't know the name of any of these like monsters, so I'm just gonna call it like the hedgehogs here. These are like, I don't know, ceiling droppers or something. I don't really know what they're called, but these are floaters or something. And over here is our first, I guess, mini boss. Not really a boss. Just gonna bypass the moths. And I don't think I'm gonna get this in time, but if you notice how the door's open, if you open this thing and get the morphing, or the bombs, I guess. In the PAL version of the game, which I'm not playing the PAL version, NTC, you can actually get out the door. It looks like you barely could make it. In the PAL version, you can make it out just because you have the gameplay's at 50 hertz instead of 60 hertz. You just have a little bit more time to get out there. I have seen it in a segmented speedrun back in, like, when at the time I think the world record was 55 in-game minutes, which I thought was ridiculous. No one can ever beat that. Well, then all of a sudden, like, now, like, in-game time, like, not even segmented, people just doing it, like, on the fly, streaming live, can beat the game with 48 minutes, I believe, in game time. Probably 47 or 46 minutes nowadays. 100% that is. It's, in my opinion, just a work of art. Just a beautiful work of art. Better than anything at MoMA in New York City. Sorry, Weasel, if you're listening. Unless you're on floor 5. MoMA didn't have a lot of cool things in it, except for floor 5. This is called the Escape from Alcatraz. I don't know if I'm probably not going to be able to get this. It's quite complicated, and all it does is saves like 8 seconds. So if you don't get it, I mean, after just a few tries, you're... Yeah, I'm not even gonna try, but you see what I'm saying. I'm just gonna kind of restart this for a second just so I don't lose my time. That's called Escape from Alcatraz. It saves about 8 seconds. Like I said, I'm not very good at some of the wall jumps, especially on this frickin' Xbox controller, so I'm just gonna kind of play it as it is here. By the way, Weasel, before you like come and complain to our friends about that, I didn't hate MoMA. I just thought the 5th floor was the only thing cool about MoMA. Everything else was just like, I thought I could build it. And if I could build it, it's not art. I don't know, I'm fist pumping or whatever it's called to get the first energy tank. That is called fist pumping if I haven't said anything. And like that, we're actually at the end of the video. Right here's going to be the elevator to Brinstar, which is everyone's favorite song in the game, but you'll have to stay tuned for the next episode. Actually, I lied. We'll just kind of go through these things, because apparently our beam is not strong enough to kill them. I prematurely told everyone that the video's gonna end. Over there's the Torian base. It's protected by a statue. You have to destroy all 4 bosses in order to get through it. So we can't go there, obviously. You can go there and look at it, and if you go there earlier than anticipated, you can watch the statue kind of crumble or whatever, so Well, anyway, this is the end of the video, so stay tuned for the next episode of Let's Play Super Metroid. Thank you.